Hey, this is Nick Aldis, your favorite GM, former world champion, and friend of K100 despite being on probation. A few years ago, I started Legacy Sports Nutrition to sell high-quality supplements made in the USA to people like me and hopefully people like you. Since we launched, code K100 is the most used promo code at LegacySubs.com, which is a testament to the listeners of this show as intelligent people who care about their health and performance with bestsellers like Test X9 Testosterone Booster and our Recovery PM Sleep Aid. I use these products myself, and so does my wife, Hall of Famer Mickie James, as well as a bunch of your favorite wrestlers. Try our stuff now at LegacySubs.com. That's LegacySupps.com and use code K100 for 10% off and to support this podcast.
Did you guys watch AEW, by the way?
Yep.
All right.
Did you, Joe?
Let me tell you something. I watched. Hang on. Oh, he had his headset off.
Sorry, I was talking to my wife.
Oh, no, he's talking to his girl.
Did you watch Dynamite?
Yeah, well, most of it.
Yeah,
Right.
so I watched Dynamite, and I started watching Collision, and it just dragged for so long that I just quit watching because I'd already seen that the last segment of the thing with. I will just go over this thing. So AEW. Let me get the review here. Who was our reviewer for this show? Did we get the number, Joe? See if you can find somebody.
I'm on the. I'm going on Wrestle.
It's 3:00. I should have posted by now. So this is kind of interesting. Dave talks about the streaming stuff, and I can't imagine anybody that is watching these things on streaming because you have to change your thing. If the shows are, it's kind of weird. You gotta watch AEW Dynamite, then you gotta when it's over, you gotta go to Collision and stuff. And I don't know. It's just this weird flex the way they do this. They opened up with the footage of Ibushi. They showed that, okay? And they showed a footage of Kenny Omega and Jack Perry agreeing to join forces. So now you know why they showed that angle. Joe Konnan,
Right.
Did you finally see the spot where they showed Mark Davis beating on him?
Right.
Right. So you saw how
Yeah.
So they
That should not have happened.
right. But so obviously the reason they did it was because this was so important of having Kenny Omega and Jack Perry agree to join forces. So they did a sit-down interview with Chris Statlander and Tony Storm. And Storm was in her gimmick, said she dreams of getting the title. She said, I don't know who I am without this title. And darling, who are you? And Statlander cut a very generic promo talking about, said Storm has never been able to figure out because she's constantly evolving, is already different than the person Storm faces at all out. Storm said they've told some ridiculous lies, but Wrestle Dream they'll find the truth. Statlander said Storm knows the truth, but she just needs to accept it. This was all very generic, boring conversation. So they agreed for no physicality, right? This was fun. The ending of this is funny. Storm, after the interview was over, Renee kept confirmed it was. Said, "Oh, good. Meet me in the ring." And they take their stuff because they wanted to fight each other, right? So then they go out to the ring and they fight. And so then they do a weird thing where Storm ends up on her knees and puts her hand behind her back and inviting Statlander to hit her with the belt. Statlander declined, so Storm worked her over and eventually ended up with the belt. And Statlander dropped to her knees and put her hands behind her back. Then Storm teased hitting her with the belt, but she kissed her on the forehead before exiting the ring. This was fine if they didn't do the same thing with Darby later on. Did you see that? The finish, the thing with Darby and Moxley?
Of course.
It was some of this. It's well, why did they do that and then do this?
Well,
kind of weird.
Yeah,
because they're AEW. Bro, so during the match, I heard both their names, their nicknames. I'm okay with one of them. I like the Timeless one for Tony.
You're doing
right?
the interview, not the match. Not the interview.
Yeah. I like the name Timeless one for Tony, right?
Right.
Because, she's gone back in time, right?
Right.
Bro, listen to Chris Statlander's name. Okay, this is about as JoJo as it gets. The galaxy's greatest alien.
Yeah, the galaxy's greatest alien. Dude, that's been her gimmick forever.
That's terrible. Well, the name is terrible.
She was an actual alien.
Yeah, remember when she was going boop, boop, like she was from outer space? Oh,
right.
that's stupid.
It's you can't change your gimmick.
Never liked
good
it.
Grief,
That's a dumb name. But anyways, I like the delivery by Tony. She's always great. She's always different. She's always kind of reinventing herself from show to show. It looked like she had a red bra on, but when they went into the ring and she took off her shirt, it was her tights, Yeah. Statlander probably cut the best non-dumb promo because usually I thought she cut a pretty good promo.
I did not like it.
And then at the end, she kissed her on the forehead. I don't know if she likes all the girls like Miss.
No, she's billed as a bisexual.
She is
Okay.
a bisexual.
Yeah, she is a bisexual. And she actually plays into that. She's always
Yeah.
talking
So-
stuff. You haven't figured that out? It's like,
Depends on how
she's
much
Yeah, I
like-
kind of
she's
figured
always
it
like
out.
kind of
But,
horny for the other girls.
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah,
you know?
but I wasn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Right.
they've made it more than apparent for me to make that dumb question.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let me
Uh,
sue myself for that.
So, so our,
Ratings? No ratings.
no ratings yet.
Nowhere.
So our boy Jack Perry's backstage. He says he doesn't hate the Young Bucks. He loves them. Always be grateful for everything they've done for him. But he said that when he needed them the most, they didn't pick up the phone or have his back. He said he had to look deep into his past to find somebody who would. And then Luchasaurus came in the picture and went,
Ugh.
that's literally what he did.
I know. Brutal.
I read an interesting, well, depends on how you look at it, an interesting take on Twitter about this, that Perry's he's just using Luchasaurus to get a positive crowd pop. Like he's really still the schemer in the background. That's why they showed the vignettes of him shocking him awake like Dr. Frankenstein and all that. Like it's
Bro,
just,
let me just say this,
yeah.
and I'm not hating. I'm just stating. When I like something, I'll super put it over. Jack Perry in any incarnation is little Tarzan boy or whatever he was when he first came in with the loincloth.
Yeah.
And, there's been nothing I've liked of him. You know what I'm saying? So
I thought
Yeah.
I liked when he was one of the young guys when they had their 4 pillars, and I was looking forward to these guys coming up and on. It hasn't turned out for really any of them except them.
that was brutal.
You didn't like it when he was driving around in the milk truck?
I did not like the milk truck.
Remember he
I'm
drove
really
around the milk
disappointed.
truck?
Pillars. First of all, it was brutal because they're not the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars was Omega, Cody, and the Young Bucks.
Right.
So right there, you lost me.
Yeah.
You know? And if I remember correctly, that storyline was very kind of JoJo.
Yeah.
So we go to Bobby Lashley
Match.
and Sheldon against Toa Leona and Bishop Gaun with Ricochet. Now
What's the
gimmick of
second
this-
guy's name?
Toa Leona and Bishop Gaun.
Kaun.
Go.
All right.
Okay, so this is a tip. So they gave the GOA guys some decent offense here.
Yeah.
But the gimmick of this match is that like Ricochet was causing some commotion. MVP was trying to stop it, but MVP's got a cane, and Ricochet's just faster than him.
Yeah.
So the finish actually worked out was very cleverly done because out of all the chaos they had and everything, Ricochet finally snuck in and hit a big running knee on Benjamin out of nowhere and just slid out of the ring. Where finally MVP got him with the cane, but he'd already interfered in the match and took him out and pinned him.
Yep.
Very well done. And I don't know if people got the gimmick there, but that was the gimmick of the match is that MVP couldn't prevent Ricochet from cheating because he's too fast. Right? Yeah. So what'd you think of this, Konnan?
I thought that finally, I almost feel like the Hurt Business went to Tony and said, hey, we're not going to put over the Jet Team or Jet Set or what are they called?
The
Jet Speed.
Jet Speed.
Stream or Speed.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Bailey and the brother, right? Kevin
Right.
Knight or whatever his name is. And so, put some guys that look like
Jet Speed.
Jet Speed, right? That they can give us a hard time. And I think the Samoans got a great look and they won, which they should have won. And I almost think they're going to wrestle in their next big show, which I believe is Wrestle Dream, right?
Right.
Finally, they got some credible
And it
opponents.
is trios.
Yeah, because they were giving him all these. And the thing with MVP, bro, MVP, they should use him to get heat because he's always getting over on most people with the cane because he broke the cane over Sammy's back.
Right.
Right. And I saw this one time where MVP got hit by somebody and the people were booing. Like they like him a lot. They should use him to get heat.
Right. So let me make another point of where they're.
And I
just don't know-
believe, and I don't know because I got Joe memory on this. I believe this is the first time the Hurt Business has been defeated on TV.
No, they lost the belts.
Oh, yeah.
On
Pay-per-view,
No, and a
right?
No, but they did take
Yeah,
the
right,
pin.
Right. Yeah, they took a pin on TV. You're correct.
Yeah.
So let me make a point here. And this is what AEW consistently does. And I don't know if Tony thinks that, traditional wrestling booking, you're supposed to, like somebody's in his ear saying, you got to elevate your mid-card guys. And so, bro, their top guys are constantly fighting with the mid-card guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but Ricochet's team is a mid-card team. Okay, and I think maybe the reason MVP wants to work with them is because Ricochet did work in WWE, so they're probably might be on the same page, like working together, with this to make it work. But dude, okay, they're trying to the Hurt Syndicate should be baby faces. Still kind of very weird baby faces because they're not straight. Bro, the perfect angle for them right now, and you got MVP out there with the canes, you can get Sympathy on them. Bro, they should be fighting off the Don Callis family. They're completely outnumbered, but they're two big guys, and they're good, strong talkers. And you could just line up a million of those guys against these guys and do like 8 weeks of TV with this, and put the belt on, have the belt involved. The tag team belts involved. I don't. To me, that's like if I look at their roster right now, this is the easiest TV to write for like the next 8 to 12 weeks. The Hurt Syndicate against the Don Callis family. And like just right off the bat, there's a million things you could do off the top of your head with this. And they just, I don't know, they just got these guys doing all this other weird. And bro, like I said, the Hurt Syndicate is not getting any younger.
Yep.
They're wasting all their marquee matchups with these guys every day that goes by that they do not have them matched up against other top guys. I'm sorry.
I disagree with any of what you said.
That's just a fact. You got Edge and Christian together that you could, FTR, you could do that, Bro, they're wrestling. They went 6 weeks with jet speed. Now they're doing this long angle. Like they're getting every match you can out of the Ricochet's crew.
I don't know. You know how when you can almost feel somebody's leaving a promotion, right?
Right.
I have this sneaky feeling that Jericho and Edge are both going to jump to WWE and maybe even Christian. But Jericho and Edge, I get that feeling.
Well, yeah.
Because somebody brought this up and I was like, huh. So Jericho is doing that boat cruise or whatever.
Yeah, he just
the Jericho
announced
cruise,
next.
And there's nobody from AEW on it.
Nope, there's not.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. Right.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard anything from Jericho, and Jericho's always radio silent before he makes a big move.
Right. Why would he tell anybody? He has no.
He's real good at
no
that.
reason to. Correct.
Here's his most.
And he's not going to tip off.
And they're not right. No. Tony probably knows.
You think so?
But
he's
not on TV, so whatever. If Tony knows, bro, if Tony they could leak that Jericho's leaving, but that just makes AEW look bad.
Right.
So everybody's got to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
So it's like,
when Cody left.
You're not going to hear anything with this if Jericho's leaving because it's going to make AEW look bad that he's leaving. And then so, you know what you might hear it from? You might hear the guys like Meltzer and stuff. Everything is have him use his dirt sheet guys to start throwing shade on Jericho.
Well, yeah.
That's when you'll know that something's happening if the dirt sheets start reporting some dirt on Jericho.
The cancer.
Yeah, right, or something. I'm just saying you know how this works.
Yeah,
like we've seen this. Been in this business for 30 years, dude.
Yeah,
it's like I know these people how they operate.
Speak the language.
Right.
Here's what Chris said in an interview the other day. And he's actually going to be touring with his Kiss cover band, Quarantine, for the next month or so. So check out Quarantine.
So he doesn't play Fozzy music. He plays Kiss music now.
Yeah, well, he's still with Fozzy, but this is like the Fozzy guys doing having some fun. The tour's from November 13th to the 6th, and they play like 80s Kiss. The non-makeup Kiss.
Dude,
but anyway, wait, here's what he said.
They're hideous without makeup.
Regarding his future, the best thing that could happen in wrestling is AEW, and the fact that there's 2 huge promotions you can choose from just makes it better for the guys, makes it better for the fans and everybody in between. So I'm not going anywhere for a while. I'm still with AEW for right now. Would I go back to WWE? I wouldn't be opposed to it. We'll just have to see what happens. But I mean, that's what he's going to say, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
Dude,
and then
Rumble.
plus 2, what would be ironic too? Is if Jericho shows up, he's up there in age, but dude, what if he shows up in unbelievable looking shape? And then just to make it, because that was one thing, he wasn't in very good shape when he was there for like the first couple of years. So people are going to look like, oh, that just shows you how Tony's not a leader because he didn't press Jericho to get in better shape and stuff. And, he's probably going to show up in great shape there if he goes back. So,
Rumble.
But or he might be back with AEW. You never know. So he might like that schedule.
I think.
But if he gets the same
Konnan's
schedule
been
in
right all
WWE, what now?
Huh?
Konnan's been right all along with Chris. Where is he going to want to finish his career? I know, Disco, you said like legacy, but I think Chris is going to want to finish there, do the Hall of Fame.
Right. It's almost
Chris
it's
wants to finish
almost like
in front of sellouts again.
I'll give you a good example, Disco. It's almost like when somebody before they retire, they get a one-day contract with the team they started with.
Yeah.
You know
Charlie
what I'm saying?
Morton, like Charlie
Right.
Morton.
Yeah,
Right.
Darren Dalton.
Right. Or like what's his name? They did Marc-Andre Fleury.
Right.
Got a
Right,
one-day
right.
contract with Pittsburgh, so he can play
Yeah.
one period in exhibition game for the entire
Yeah.
thing. Right? Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. Why
okay, so
would you
this
not want to retire where you started? Right.
right. So they had a surprise birthday party for Don Callis, and wherever they shot this, I'm like, dude, you couldn't find a better location than this. This looked like a very cheap-looking dinner that they were all sitting down eating. So Fletcher unveiled a television on the wall while they were eating dinner, and Takeshita delivered an on-screen greeting to Callis for his birthday. But then Okada turned it off, and he had the Rogue Show goes, "Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button." And then this, I don't know. If this was whole designed to show heat between Okada and Takeshita, still, it's like this is a very JoJo-looking segment. To be perfectly honest, no, I don't know. They could have made this far more entertaining than it was. So then they showed footage of Zack Sabre losing to Takeshita for the IWGP champion, JP champion. Then Don Callis was introduced to the live crowd and introduced Mark Davis, Josh Alexander, and Hechicero. So they showed a guy in the crowd that looked exactly like Don Callis, dressed like him with the scar on the head. Did you see that guy?
Remember, he used to come out in other shows.
Oh, okay, yeah, he looked great.
Yeah.
But I want to make a point here, dude. I'm sorry, and people can't unsee this. That is the ugliest looking fan base I've ever seen. The front row of that show was like the ugliest looking people that looked like broke and like had some of the girls had purple hair. It just looked like it just did not look like it's completely different from a WWE crowd. Like these people just look like they're poor and they're not well dressed and they're physically unattractive. It's just like every week, like brutal. So then they're wrestling Jack Perry and Luchasaurus and Kenny Omega. Okay, in this big three-way match, and so the baby faces go over. Perry, at one point, Davis went for a lariat on Omega, but Perry sacrificed himself by shoving Omega out of the way and taking the lariat himself. Okay, so after the match, so the baby faces go over. All right, so Don Callis' crew loses again. It's like I don't know what the record is, right? So the Young Bucks run in, and they put down Perry with Luchasaurus' super kicks and then Perry with super kicks. And they set up for TK driving Perry, but Omega came in and stopped it. So they started kind of, arguing with each other. And then Luchasaurus clotheslined both of the Bucks. And then Perry performed a moonsault of the top rope onto the group on the floor. And I don't know. What'd you think of this?
I did not watch the whole match.
Right.
Yeah.
Bro, because all these guys, bro, all their matches now are all there's gratuitous thigh slapping all the time. And it gets very annoying.
Yeah.
Like, which match were you talking about?
This is a six-man. Kenny Omega, Perry, Luchasaurus against Alexander. And like there was Alexander had Omega had heat with Alexander was a storyline and Mark Davis, but they didn't. I don't know. It's just
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, you didn't go over the John Moxley Darby Allin face-to-face thing.
Well, they haven't happened yet.
Yeah, it did.
No,
I'm sorry. I thought
I missed this.
I thought you.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did miss it. I did. Okay, hang on. You're right.
It was like
okay,
the
let's go over
second
this.
or third segment.
Right, I'll go back and talk about it. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. I was after the Ricochet thing.
I was wondering what? Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. Then we can go over these next two. Because these are all standalone segments anyway.
The only reason I brought this up is because I liked it.
Right. All right. So earlier after I don't know how I missed this on my thing here. Okay, so earlier they showed a New York Comic Con and Darby Allin attacked John Moxley during an AEW panel. Okay, and so they set up footage of a face-to-face confrontation of Darby and Moxley at an undisclosed location. Okay, which looked like kind of like a prison, like where you're on the other side of
with the glass,
right?
Right, like when you're visiting, or you know what it looked like to me too at the beginning before they showed both sides. When just Moxley was talking, it looked like, remember old school before they had kiosk at movie theaters where you go to a movie theater and order 2 tickets.
A little window.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take 2 tickets for Deep Throat. I meant Star Wars.
Right. So they did a face-to-face confrontation. Allin was seated at a table. Moxley entered the room, spoke to through a glass divider, and Moxley said neither he nor Allin would quit. Then asked what he wanted to do. Moxley told him it's never too late to end up on the right side of history. Allin said it's too late. He said there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't think about joining the Death Riders. It's a weird line. Allin said he understands the cause, but he can't join because he doesn't respect Moxley. Allin asked why I'd want to go to war with someone who stabbed his brother Bryan Danielson in the back. Moxley said he did the best he could for Danielson. He said this is a war for the future of their craft and sacrifices have to be made. Allen said Moxley slowly chipping away at everything that represents AEW makes it special. He said they would hang the flag he brought to Mount Everest in his house so he could remind himself of everything AEW has given him. And he said that before he does, he'll wrap the flag around Moxley's throat. Allen said that when Moxley quits a Wrestle Dream, the Death Riders who blindly follow him will realize that Moxley's word doesn't mean a thing. Moxley said he's never lied to Allen and said it's not about me. Then Pac came in the room behind Allen and attacked him and smashed him in the glass thing, and there was blood all over the place. Like he busted him open on the thing. I literally, when I was watching this, had to keep going back, rewinding it, and trying to understand what they were saying because the sound quality was so terrible. Because of the way they recorded it in that room with like
echoed.
It was very poorly produced, and I kept having to go back and then like the verbiage was all kind of like that typical Death Rider stuff, like this is a war for the future of the craft. The sacrifice had to be. It's like whatever.
What I liked about it is that Mox is trying to recruit Allen to join the Death Riders, right?
Right.
And he's like, "Why would I trust you after what you did to what's this guy's name?
Brian
Danielson, right?
Right. But done to everybody else too. They're like the number one heel faction on the show, and like Darby's saying, like a week doesn't go by, day doesn't go by that I don't think of joining the Death Riders.
And then
I thought that was a weird line to use. Like, go ahead.
Then out of the sudden nowhere, Pac comes in and just destroys him on the plexiglass or whatever that was, and there's blood everywhere. And then they had like red lighting. Right. Like it looked pretty cool. It looked different from what they do.
It absolutely did. It was a very cleverly produced segment. However, the sound was atrocious.
You're right. That
was like
a lot of bad parts of the sound.
If they would have fixed the sound, it's like you can understand. Like,
you know what, bro? I had turned off the closed caption before, and I actually put it on during this.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so I could understand what's going on. Yeah.
I kept having to rewind and like, what do you say there? Like,
bro, I do that in movies. Like a lot of times, people whispers in movie. Like I think that's the cool thing with actors. Right. I'm like, speak up, or am I losing my hearing?
Dude, I just
put the closed caption.
No, I always drives my wife nuts. With the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Bet on the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, golf, MMA, and more. Every sport, every market, right at your fingertips. Deposit instantly with PayPal, Venmo, or Apple Pay, starting at just $10. Win big and cash out fast. PayPal in 24 hours or instantly at retail sportsbooks. Available in over 20 states, FanDuel's app is your ticket to the action. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now.
So this is pretty funny. They had a Death Riders versus Claudio. The next segment, Claudio wrestles Roderick Strong. 12 minutes, he beats him. And you know what the purpose of this match was? Other than just giving a random win to the Death Riders?
No.
Well, the Shivani's. Did you hear his announcement after this? He said this is Claudio's 100th win in AEW.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God.
But you know what? I'm glad that Claudio won. He looked very dominant, and they should have been doing this because when he first came in, they gave him a super push. He was super over, and then they did nothing with him. That whole crew, except for Pac, is very JoJo, right? Right. And it was good to see them do something with Claudio.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And this was kind of funny. Excalibur actually said that this was a rare Death Riders match where like nobody got involved. And I was like, he's right.
Right. So I want to read Pal's people. So we went over the next thing was the 6-man that we talked about, the Don Callis family stuff. But this is Pal's POV of the Don Callis family stuff that we talked about. Good storytelling in addition to the usual strong in-ring action. Perry proved himself to Omega by sacrificing himself, and Omega didn't get much revenge on Alexander for Ibushi's injury. There's no reason to rush that. In fact, I hope they build up Alexander for singles feud with Omega, and it won't be a situation where Omega gets full revenge at Wrestle Dream. Dude, I'm like, well, we saw the end, we saw the spot. It's like Alexander didn't Ibushi just slipped on the guy's back and fell.
Yeah, right.
Like Alexander, intentionally,
Well, they're flipping it like Omega's trying to get revenge on Alexander, and then they're flipping a parallel story where Perry's trying to earn Omega's trust. Right.
We'll probably end up turning on.
It's a scam. He's lying.
We'll see.
Exactly.
Because, bro, that should be Jack Perry's gimmick. Is he should never be trusted because he's the son of an actor. Why would you? This is all an act.
I just want to say, bro.
Go ahead.
Don Callis, who we all love him, and he's entertaining. That Don Callis family blows. The only people there that interest me is, believe it or not, Okada and
Fletcher,
Takeshita and Fletcher.
Right.
Everybody else is mega JoJo, bro. Josh Alexander with kind of like the ear with the amateur wrestling headgear and Hechicero. They just don't look like, you know what I'm saying?
They're not on those guys' level.
Right.
Right. Okay. Or the way the perception of their level should be. You know, those are like three guys that should be three of their top guys, and they're watered down with this faction. Mark Davis too. Okay, so this is funny. This is one of my favorite segments.
He's got Archer and Cage too, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah. Right,
bro. And one of the announcers announced that the Young Bucks are wrestling Jurassic Express at their big show, Wrestle Dream.
Mm-hmm.
Is a $500,000 money match. What a silly. Who believes that?
They need money.
Yeah, but who believes that?
They don't. But it's still.
If that's what it is, then that is funny.
They're staying true. to the
story.
That does make sense.
Because bro, remember they were knocking.
Yeah. You're right.
Remember they
went to the casino.
Tony, give us another money match. Give us.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely right. That is funny.
Right. So the fact they're actually doing it, it's funny. That's the funny thing about it. Right. So Jamie Hayter against Sky Blue is other Julia Hart. Julia Hart actually at some couple points during this had a mean face. Like she showed like a growl, you know. So she's evolving her character. But basically Hayter wins the match, right? So then Thekla appears on the big screen and applauded Hayter. I think this is Thecla's first interview. I think I've heard her speak. She said Thekla said she was misunderstood in Europe and kicked out of Japan. She said she's been around the world and isn't impressed. She said she attacked Hayter because you were just there. And Thekla said her name means chaos and poison. And she said she would get toxic to the core when they meet at Wrestle Dream.
Whoa. The
funniest reaction is Jamie Hayter was just like booing the promo. You know, she was just dismissing it.
That was funny.
That was the end of the segment. It's a good promo.
Yeah.
Right? So she said, I'm going to get toxic to the core.
Well, let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Toxic Spider.
What?
The Toxic Spider. That's our nickname.
Yes.
So, Sky Blue, who besides the fact that Joe loves, she is very green, but Hayter did a great job. This might be the best match I've seen her in. Hayter did a really good job of carrying her, which shows how good of a worker she is. And Blue held up her part too, you know, and it was physical, and it shows some evolution on Sky Blue's part.
Oh, yeah.
You know how many matches they're listing for this show?
How many?
12.
Oh my God, no. It's gonna be 5 hours.
Like WWE 4, 5, 6. If that.
It's gonna be 5. Okay, hang on. 12 matches. Let's say the average length of match. The average time from match to match is 30 minutes. Okay, so we're looking at like 5.5 hours to 6 hours for the show.
Oh wait, it says 4 of them are pre-show, so 8 matches.
Well, that's still 6 hours of wrestling.
Yep. Some big names on the pre-show.
Who?
Well, FTR's on there, Kingston and Hook, Harley's on there. Just guys I wouldn't expect. I would expect to be on the pay-per-view.
Okay, so next is Mercedes Moné with the most. Is Mercedes wrestling on the show?
She is not.
Okay, because
have you come to her promo already?
I'm at the promo right now. Let me tell you what she said. I'm going to read it.
It's absolutely brutal.
Okay, because she's at the top girl star. She hasn't a match on the show, but they gave her interview time to say this. She told Renee Paquette that she could call her Ultimate Monet. And Paquette said Monet tied Ultimo Dragon's record by winning her 10th title when she beat Alice Inc. to win the Body Slam Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Paquette said Monet will become the longest reigning TBS champion in history when she reaches 509 days on Friday. And then Monet screamed and then wrapped up the interview. What was it like? Literally, if they thought it was necessary to tell everybody that she just won the Body Slam Women's Championship and she tied Ultimo Dragon's record.
Yeah, this meant nothing. As usual, her promos are not her strong suit. It's always the same thing with the stupid dance and the CO thing. And I like her because she looks like a star. She dresses like a star. She has good matches, but her promos do her no favors whatsoever.
She should have actually said before this. They should have said this promo is for the cage match and Reddit fans of AEW.
Right.
You know,
And for Meltzer and Tony
the
Khan. Yeah.
Like that. Like, do you actually think you would actually meet anybody in your lifetime that would know that Ultimo Dragon had the record
No.
of 9 titles?
No.
Well, you thank AEW for letting us know that fact. But
Right.
now
And we can thank him for letting us know it was Claudio's 100th match. That's important.
100.
Yeah.
So this is a weird way. So Hangman Page makes his entrance to the broadcast table because he's wrestling Joe in a world championship match this weekend. But they've had it felt necessary for Joe, Hobbs, and Shibata to be defending their trios championships against Rush, Dralistico, and the Beast Mortis, who was Sammy. Okay. And they made a good point here that Sammy now has added Rush to the faction, and it's a good addition. And I'll be very honest, it is a good addition because Rush's work looks as realer than anybody else on that show, especially when he's chopping people. Okay, but he makes everybody else's chop bad.
I will say this.
He brings it.
He got into a chop fest with Shibata, and Shibata did not back down.
No, he did not back down, but Rush was bringing it.
Yeah, I know, bro.
He's
he worked in AAA. He's as real as it gets. Yeah.
So he had a spot too where he hurt his wrist on this. He went in the ring like he went to. I don't know what happened. There was a spot in the corner, and when he got out, he hurt his
holding
wrist.
His old
Yeah, he was holding his wrist, and it was like something happened. I went back and watched it a few times. I still don't know how he hurt his wrist because he came up holding it. It was like the guy fell on her. So I don't know. So the Ops win. Okay.
So I only have 2 problems with this match. You know, I never felt like they were going to win the title, right? And they got the Pentagon spot and so many others where they beat mid-carders but not stars, right? And I don't know what Sammy Guevara is doing with him. He looks so out of place.
Right.
You might as well have thrown him into Don Callis' family because he would have looked out of place there too. It's almost like they didn't know what to do and they said, stick him with LFI because I don't know. He just looks out of place, and I think they could do more than him carrying belts and being a manager. But
right. So next, after the match, Joe held up his Beowulf, staring at a page at the announce table. Then Rush hit Joe from behind. The Rush spat at Page.
Yeah.
Rush stood up and thanked
Page
the
got
broadcast.
hot.
Got hot. And then he comes in the ring, gets the better of Dralistico and Mordos. Then Rush tossed Page over the top rope. The Page set up for buckshot lariat, but Guevara pulled Rush to the floor. So, I mean, I guess Tony has Rush set up for the winner of this match. That's why they did that.
Yeah.
And these are all Ring of Honor guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's so I don't know. Why can this did not make me any more interested in Page versus Joe. It actually made me generate interest in Rush. Just you wanted kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What you think of the post match, Konnan?
not just the thing with Rush, it's frustrating because they'll just go halfway with him and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not going to push him. Same thing. It's like Pentagon. They never really pushed him. You know what I'm saying? And you just get frustrated. You got all this talent here. Why aren't you using him better?
Oh, you know, Powell, let me give you Powell's POV. He knows exactly the same thing I did.
Right.
So, match was fine, and Joe was featured heading into the AEW World Championship match. There was an odd moment late when Shibata hit Rush with a sliding dropkick under the bottom rope. But Rush didn't budge. And Shibata grabbed him from behind on the floor, but Rush still didn't play along, and then spoke to Shibata before they exited the camera shot. I thought Rush might be hurt, but he seemed fine during the post-match angle, so I'm not sure what happened. That's funny. Like, all of us saw it. I imagine everybody saw that then. If Jason, me, and you, everybody saw that. So
Right.
that was interesting. It stuck out like a sword. You know why it stuck out like a sore thumb? Because all that was right in the hard camera shot, right front and center. You know.
James is nice. Here goes the matches for Saturday. If you want to take a look.
Pull it up, show me. See this.
These are the 4 pre-show matches. Says.
Are you interested in any of these, Discord, Joe?
No.
Let me look. I was looking at something else here. All right, so FTR versus Jet Speed, zero interest. Eddie Kingston and Hook versus to be announced. They've been building up Eddie Kingston and Sammy forever. Now, what happened to that? He wrestled Jalisco. Eddie Kingston did in Collision, but they didn't fall. I don't know. Okay, so Harley Cameron and Willow versus Divine Vanity,
Yeah, I'm interested in
which
that.
is Megan Bain and Penelope Ford. Roderick Strong and the conglomeration against the Death Riders.
Wait 1 minute. So on one side you'd have Ishii, right? Or no?
Right. Roderick, Cassidy, O'Reilly, and Ishii against Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pat.
You don't want to see Daniel against Ishii.
Darby Allin versus Moxley, I quit. Hangman versus Samoa Joe. Statlander versus Tony Storm. All those I'm kind of, I guess I'm interested. Those are the top things on the show. Jurassic Express versus Young Bucks. That could be entertaining. Kyle Fletcher versus Briscoe. Zero interest. Brodito versus Takeshita and Okada. Hopefully they win the belts. I imagine that's what they'll do for the AEW Tag Team Championship. And maybe they could start fighting with maybe that could start. Maybe they'll use my idea. Takeshi Okada get the tag belts and they start feuding with the Hurt Business. There we go. Let's do that.
Yeah, they should win this match then.
Let's do that. Okay. Because Brodito is not, whatever. Jamie Hayter versus Thekla, zero interest. And the Hurt Business versus the Demand in a Tornado Trios match. Bro, they just did a freaking 2 weeks ago. They did a street fight.
Okay. Can you repeat the name of their faction?
The Demand.
Bro, that's the main event?
No. Those are just the matches. There's no way that's the main event.
Event's probably Moxley and Allen, right?
That's just the 12 matches. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm only interested in 3 things, and I'm not going to watch the show just to see it. I'll look at clips. I'm interested in the Tony Storm match. I'm interested in the. Can you go up? Because I can't read it, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Paige and Joe. And I'm interested in Darby Allin and Moxley. Because specifically, I think Darby and the Hangman match, they have smart people putting the matches together, and they'll probably have some cool spots or finishes.
Right. So Collision opened up with Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly against Wheeler Yuta and Danny Garcia. And Yuta and Garcia are out there like they came out with the arena acting like tough and everything, so I just quit watching. So I don't know what happened next. But they had a match and they won. Yuta and Garcia won. And then they did the thing that I saw this online. So the Death Riders beat them up afterwards. And then Tamir Ishii and Strong came out to help. But the heels had the advantage. Then Moxley got a mic and went to the middle of the ring. Darby came out. Moxley smiled. Allen limped in to sell Pac's attack that aired during the day. Caccignoli ran to the stage and drilled Allen with an uppercut. Allen bled. Of course he had to bleed. He crawled a bit and then got to his feet, only to have Pac put him down with a big boot. He continued to crawl towards the ring while Danielson asked if there was anything that could make Allen quit. Allen got back to see his attack by Yuta and Garcia. Started crawling again, but then Shafir kicked his head. He's like Jesus being like dragged through in front of the he might as well have had a giant cross on his back while he's doing this. So Allen put his hands on the ring canvas and used the ropes to pull himself in the ring, and the other baby faces fought the Death Riders to the back. So now it's just the 2 of them. Allen pulled out the flag. So Allen, after all his beat up, pulled out the flag that had Mount Everest, placed it on the mat in front of Moxley like the Sheik used to do when he'd start praying before the match. Moxley hit Allen with the Death Rider on the. Allen grabbed the mic while on his knees and said, "It's never too late, John, to say I quit." Then Moxley hit Allen with the Death Rider on the flag, or whatever that finishes. He does the double arm DDT. And then Moxley left the ring and exited through the crowd with Shafir while Allen was down in the ring. Powell's POV of this. The good news is that Darby didn't try to set anyone on fire this week. I get that they were trying to sell that Allen won't quit, but it was slow developing, and the crowd didn't really cheer him on every time he took a beat and kept moving forward. Oh, by the way, this very physically ugly-looking crowd that they had at the show was not a good crowd. They were dead a lot. Like when you're in an arena that had that how many people were there? Was it 3,000, 4,000 maybe? Bro, you could literally hear like individual people clapping, say like a person just clapping. Like there was no vibe to this
It
crowd
was
at all.
in
There's
Independence, Missouri. So
This was terrible, awful, dead crowd. They did not help the show at all. Yeah, and I quit watching after. I didn't watch Collision, so that's enough.
the arena was set up for 2709. They distributed to 2,390 tickets.
Are you kidding me?
That's what it says.
Wait a minute. They could not sell out a 2,700 seat arena,
That's what the information indicates.
and they're trying to tell us. Dave's trying to tell us that they're the max numbers. If you include the max streaming numbers, that they might be doing as many viewers as WWE.
That's just silly.
Uh,
There's just no. There's just.
It's just no. This makes
There's
no
no
sense,
way.
right?
No.
You know,
There's no logic.
logical people have questions, and they don't have the answers for them,
Right.
you know.
And you're
the
just a
number one
bot or a
question is,
troll if you
drawing that-
question it.
If you're drawing as many fans as WWE is on TV, why can't you draw them in the arena?
Yep.
Period. You know, it's like good
Logic.
grief. Oh, no, it's they have a 40-year head start. That's like, no. You know, both. You know the funny thing about the 40-year head start thing?
Yeah.
It's not a 40-year head start, okay? Because wrestling changed when WWE and WCW went head-to-head on Monday Night Live television.
Uh-huh.
That's when wrestling started. Okay, like, you know, and I don't care whoever the head start was, you know, whatever, but doing head-to-head competition on TV, you didn't need a head start on anybody to do that because it had never been done before. So that's when it started.
And
You know what
Head
I'm saying?
Head Start or not, if you look at it, WCW technically formed in 1991. So
Right.
they were winning in the ratings
Yeah.
and such 5 years later. They didn't. 40 years
Right.
didn't matter then. 30 years.
Whether they
they're
got a
winning the ratings.
40-year, whether they got a 40-year head start, which I think they did, or a 20-year head start, they still have a head start, and that you know, there's no, like I say, there's no substitute for experience. But I want to use two words, one a saying of yours and one of mine, to describe what the people probably thought, because most people get there an hour ahead of time. They got to park and all that. They're sitting there.
Merchandise.
Who knows? Huh?
Stop and look at the T-shirts and all that. Yeah.
They gotta wait during commercials, and then you stick them with another show of Collision, which was what, another 2 hours?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I bet you people, when you said that they didn't look like they were into the show, some people were going, enough already, and some other people were going, that's enough.
Right. All right. So you ready to hear my top 5?
Get them.
All right. Number 5 was the Tony Storm part of her interview segment with Statlander, her performance on the show.
You mean with the
She-
Galaxy Alien?
Yes, because her verbiage was excellent,
Greatest.
and I like the thing when she said, "Okay, let's go to the ring." When she pulled the microphone up, and she did their little spot in the ring, because Tony Storm is still the best, one of the best character actors in professional wrestling right now. Might be the
100%.
best because she's doing an over-the-top character, and you don't really. She does it so well. You don't really look at her as a character. You look at her like that's how she is, right?
Good.
But number 4, I like the MFT debut. Konnan didn't so much, but I like the way they come out with the thing. And number 3, I like the Asuka Kairi Sane stuff, where she slapped her. I
Right.
like that storytelling. Number 2, I usually don't like wrestling spots, but I love the Dom finish.
Right.
Very well done, very well produced. And number 1, I like the little thing, the Roman and Bronson Reed afterwards with him, Jay, and Jimmy sitting in the ring with that, having their verbiage to kind of set the tone for this weekend. What's your top 5?
Okay, honorable mention is Seth calling the fans and kissing Paulie on the head.
Right,
Number 5, Sami Zayn and Nakamura from SmackDown.
right.
Number 3, the Moxley Darby in the movie theater thing, and also the Dom finish. Number 3, Alistar and Priest match from SmackDown. I thought that was very good. And number 2, Cena and AJ from Crown Jewel. And number 1, the Braun turn.
Interesting.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.